Hello everyone. Today I'm thrilled to have a special guest, a BSL legend, Carlos Arroyo with me. Carlos, welcome and how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for the opportunity. Pleasure to meet you and glad to connect with you.
Likewise, Carlos, before starting the interview, let me ask you, I think I obviously saw the episode with Quentin Richardson and Darius Mice that before going to Florida International, you mentioned that a coach from New Mexico State came to Puerto Rico and showed you videotapes while he was doing that, he fell asleep and which made you decide not to go there? If he hadn't fallen asleep, would you have gone there? I mean, was it your number one option?
Um, it wasn't my number one option. Just think, Florida International was close to home. It was a two hour away flight, so I felt more comfortable with the city, Miami, and everything. So it worked out. I like the coaching staff and everything. The New Mexico thing, it was just unfortunate but yeah, that situation was unfortunate. It was extremely funny when it happened. But I was happy to have made the decision on playing for Florida International. And we had a great time there. Got to meet my wife in school, so we're still married to this day. Built a great family. So
21
I
years,
think.
right?
I'm sorry.
21 years?
20.
20 years, or
I can't make the mistake. I'm not remembering, because she's over here at the house, and I'm always forgetting that. But I think we're going on 25 years now together.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, great then.
yeah,
Uh, as much as I read it, your father tried to teach you the game within a structure, but you became much more than that. There was like an artist inside you, a painter who created different masterpieces in every night. Did this come from playing in the street? I mean, your father used to get mad when you tried to behind the back pass, which is your basic
yeah.
trademark. Could this be related to your love for streetball?
I think so. I think when you learn the game, you learn the fundamentals, and how to play the right way, and being unselfish, and just making the right pass, the right read. And once you're away from that structure, which is playing in the park with your friends and just having fun, that's when you really get to meet yourself and understand the things that you can do, and you might be able to try them in a real game. But when I used to go to the park, that's when I was free to just be myself and just play freely. And that's when I learned to, my behind the back passes, the no look passes, and all those things. My dad was a little strict when I was young. He wanted us to play, a very disciplined style of basketball. But you kind of integrate other things and things you see from NBA games. And back then, I used to watch a lot of Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. So I try to emulate a lot of their game into mine. And I wasn't Michael Jordan, so I couldn't jump over the rim or stick my tongue out when I went for a drive and dunk the ball. So I kind of took on learning the things from players that played the same position that I played, and incorporate them in my game.
Yeah, speaking of Michael Jordan, I once read that switching Michael Jordan was crazy. I mean, how was that feeling? I mean, defending Michael Jordan coming
That
from
wasn't.
Puerto Rico,
It,
yeah.
yeah, it was extremely intimidating, to be honest with you. The first time I saw Mike, it was like seeing God, because I saw him so far away. I come from an island that nobody played in the NBA. So when I first got the opportunity to just be around that stage and those guys, it was just overwhelming. And Michael obviously is an iconic figure, and to me, the greatest of all time. So when I got to play and be on the same court with him, it was just overwhelming.
Yeah. Uh, you also mentioned John Stockton, and there is one thing that I have always wondered if you saw your second season in Utah as the one where you really grow up mentally in your basketball career? I mean, because you suddenly became the starting point guard for the Utah Jazz after the great John Stockton and the great Mark Jackson. Do you think that I'm right?
Yes, of course. You're
Uh,
absolutely right. Yeah, I mean that first year in Utah was great because I got to learn a lot from those two guys. You know, and just how they saw the game, how they prepared, decision makings during the game, how poised they were when when being on the court, and how to execute when in pressure moments, just all those things, just how to be a pro, and what better guys than those two guys,
yeah.
especially at my position. So I was truly grateful. And it was just a learning experience for me that first year, even though I didn't get to play a lot, but I was just happy to be in the position I was, just learning behind those two guys. And then that second year, I got the opportunity to play minutes, and I did well, and I credit those two guys all the time because it was they just knew the system. They guided me through their ways, and I was able to adapt quickly that second year when I got really significant minutes being on the court.
Yeah. Would Carlos Arroyo be a much bigger star in today's modern basketball in the NBA? Because you mostly work with old school coaches. Could you have showcased yourself more in today's style?
Man, I don't know today's game. I mean, maybe it's because I'm retired, but today's game is so fast and so athletic. You got guys at my position that are not your typical, point guards. Traditional point guards used to, run the team and make the right pass and make an open shot. You got guys today playing at my position. They're playing over the rim. Like Ja Morant. Guys like Westbrook. Those guys are extremely talented and super athletic. But I think point guards at times they take advantage with the way the IQ, the way we see the game. So that's why I got the opportunity. I was blessed enough to play so many years in my career because I wasn't the most athletic and the fastest on the team, but I used my my
Most
head and
intelligent guy on the team,
right
probably.
to manipulate the game and take advantage in many situations in the game. So but I guess I could have adjusted. Uh, but the speed of the game is just way quicker than when I played. I feel. I don't know. I
Uh,
could be wrong.
About Puerto Rico national team. I mean, you have talked about those a lot, but I want to ask from a different perspective. Rick Apodaca and Christian Dalma also play for Besiktas, but one of the biggest stars with you was Larry Ayuso, who also played for Besiktas. And I always thought that he could have been a bigger star. What do you think? Did you think the same?
Um, you know, of course. I mean, I respect those guys. They were my teammates. We played together in the national team for many years, so I have nothing but respect for those guys. And they truly made a mark for themselves in Europe when they went to play over there. I think their opportunities were cut short because of the teams they were in and how they were structured. Those teams, but they were super talented. And Larry was one of those guys that he could have played in the NBA as just the right fit for any different team. So he didn't get that opportunity. That's why I say a lot. It's just a privilege to play in the NBA. It's not a right to play there. So I was able to play so many years because I was able to fit the teams that I was a part of. But for sure, Larry is one of my favorite teammates that I've ever played with, and as well as Christian too. Christian Dalmat, I played with him so many years, and Rick too. They were all on that part of that national team in the 2004 Olympics when we beat the USA. So I have nothing but respect for those guys.
Oh. Let's move on to your time in Turkey. Like it happened in Utah, you had big shoes to fill after Deron Williams in Beşiktaş. How did the transfer happen?
I think it was the NBA lockout. That
Yeah.
was the NBA lockout year, and I think it was around December or January. I really don't remember specifically what month it was, but I know Besiktas was looking for a replacement for Darren, and at the time I was looking for a place to play, and I think Besiktas was the right fit for me because of the players they had, and and Coach Ataman too. Um, and obviously me knowing that Iverson was there before Darren too, that kind of pushed me to make that decision, and I felt comfortable because those guys were a part of that club before I got there. So, and once I got there, I just clicked with my teammates and the coaches, but the transition was slow. I mean, it took me a minute just to get used to the league and the physicality of the league and the talent and the level of the league. But I think that team clicked at the right time. We did so many great things that year, and to this day, we all speak. It's just a brotherhood that's never going to be broken.
Yeah, from 25 years observation, it was the best Beşiktaş team ever I have ever seen, and fans showed love, and you showed them back. I mean, it was incredible. But I remember one of your
I
comments.
think
Yeah,
I think we have, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I think we had a lot of guys on that team that were at the peak of their careers, like David Hawkins coming from Milano and being at the best shape he was, and just a true warrior, man. At his position, he was one of the best small forwards in Europe that could play any position, as well as Pops Mensah-Bonsu. He was great for us. Zoran also, he was having a great year that year, and just a smart European player that can pop and shoot and open the floor for all of us. As well as Erwin, that understood the league, has been part of that league before, and the Turkish players we had like Sarat and Memo and John, and it was just a great team. The pieces we had were perfect. We just clicked at the right time.
yeah, and Carlos, actually, I remember one of your comments on Instagram around 4 years ago. You said in one of Beşiktaş post that the new coach Erman Kunter didn't give me the value I deserve. You were basically a superstar. How could he not give you the value?
You're talking about Ergin? Ergin?
No, Erman Kunter, the next coach. I mean, after Ergin Ataman. Because I believe that you also said I wanted to stay in Beşiktaş for the next season, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was a misunderstanding. I really didn't know him like that, but he felt like the team could go on and be successful without the job that we did. I took it, to offense, and I don't think you can just discredit the job that we did, with Beşiktaş. And I felt he did that with his comments. I'm sure it could have been something that we could have sat down and have a dialogue about it. I respect him. He's done many things for Turkish basketball. He's a legend over there. But it was a situation where maybe I was caught up in the moment where I was kind of like, I was proud of have played for Beşiktaş and accomplished what we accomplished. So I took it to offense for sure. Because winning a championship is hard, and and winning 3 in 1 year, it was extremely hard for us. So I felt he was devaluing that, and what my value was at the moment in the market as a free agent, and I decided to write that. But I mean, nothing against him. I don't really know him like that.
Was it easy for you to move to Galatasaray? That decision?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's just you created that bond not only with your teammates and with the fan base, and you wanted to continue to build on that. When you win, you want to continue winning with that same group because it worked. You finally found the magic to do it. The formula, and then. But I understand the business of it, the business aspect of the game. When you win championships and guys have great seasons, you want more money, you want better contracts. So guys, obviously, they're gonna look for those opportunities, and a lot of times your own team doesn't really have financial stability to be able to keep those players. And a lot of times, those players those teams get split up because of that. But that's the business aspect of the game. and you have to understand it, you know. And that's I think what happened, and it took us a while to kind of adjust. When coach decided to join Gala, you know, and he spoke to us and he said, "Look, I'm going to Gala. Would love to take you guys with me." And you can tell that that magic that we had, that group, we brought it to Gala. And the same way we played in Besiktas, we played in Gala. So, um, and then from there on, a lot of things happened, you know, and we weren't able to control it, and it was just things that happened, you know. But what you know, I enjoyed my time in Turkey. I would have if the situation, because when I was in Gala, I had a great time too. You know, I cannot say that it was any different than Besiktas. You know, the fan base was amazing at Gala too, and they really, to this day, they showed me so much love. So just things happen. But I tell everyone, if the financial situation with Gala, when it did happen,
It
you
was the only
know, it was
reason that you left, right, Carlos?
yeah, it was that situation. It was that reason I left. You know, and you know, if that would have been wouldn't have been a situation, I would have retired with Gala. I would have played the rest of my years of my career in the Gala. That's how comfortable I was with the team. That's how much I love the city. That's how much I love the fan base. You know, I was there by myself, and my family was in Miami. I told my family, "Don't worry, I'll stay here by myself and work," because I was comfortable. I felt at home. You know, so but it was unfortunate. You know, I still follow the team. I still support the team. You know, and um, as much as I can, and I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah, Carlos, do you feel a sense of, I'm not saying regrets, but incompleteness in your European career because of the way you left?
Um, yes, I felt incomplete the moment we decided not to play that championship game. Do you remember?
Yeah, in 2014, yeah.
Ever since that moment, I feel like, you know, we weren't able to finish a lot of the things that we were supposed to accomplish with Gala. And, you know, yes, we have bonuses for winning championships and we get good salaries, but, you know, legacy means that much to me. And to me, to be remembered always as a champion, that had a meaning to me, you know. And when we decided not to play that championship game, that it was a decision the club made because of X, Y reasons. That hurt me because I really wanted to bring another championship to Gala and to, you know, to the fans and to the club. So, but I felt from that moment that, you know, these things were starting to crumble and we weren't getting an opportunity to really accomplish, you know, trophies and just leave a big legacy in the club.
Yeah, like you said, you follow Galatasaray also, and a few months ago, you said someone from inside of Galatasaray should be the next coach of this team. Were you referring to a specific name?
No, I just feel like, you know, Gala has gone through many changes throughout the years, and they haven't been able to really succeed like we all expected. And you know, when you speak of the club, you speak of winning. You know, you gotta count Gala as one of those clubs that really needs to have expectations every year to at least you know, get to the Final Four and compete for a championship. That's the mentality we had as players when we were there, because we brought that same mentality from Besiktas, the years we won and all those things. So, and I think, you know, that cannot be lost when you prepare for a season, especially with a club like Galatasaray. You know, you gotta compete and have the mindset it's either a championship or nothing. You know, so. But I made the comments because the club hasn't gone through many changes, and it really hadn't it hasn't worked out. So, you know, I've seen, you know, guys like Ender, you know, coaching after he was retired, um, and guys like that. So, you know, maybe it's an opportunity and a time for giving those guys a chance to really, because they understand Gala, they play for Gala, they've won for Gala. So maybe giving them an opportunity uh, uh, what's the right time, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad Jakub is there. I'm not saying, you know, bringing somebody from the past is going to give Gala a championship, but just having that culture and understanding the club and you know, what you need to have to be able to play at that club. You know, they understand it. So but hopefully, they turn things around and moving forward, we can be successful. I can't wait to see Gala, win another championship. And I still have a piece of my heart. It's with Besiktas too. I'm not saying anything wrong with Besiktas, but it's just the way I feel about both clubs. I have nothing but respect.
Yeah, and I want to ask about one individual player. Your harmony with Pops Mensah Ponce, even after more than 10 years, is still unforgettable. Was Pops the center you felt most comfortable with in Europe?
I would say yes, of course. Just because of the chemistry we built, we had more communication. His style of play fit mine. I love the flashy play, the lobs, and getting my team, involved with and inspired with those type of plays. And he was that type of player that he could play over the rim, and he was athletic. He could switch on pick and rolls and guard guards, and at the same time, he was always very, very vocal when it came down to doing things on the court. So I love playing with Pops. He was by far one of my favorite teammates.
Yeah, and Ergin Ataman has won the EuroLeague 3 times in the last 4 years. He always includes you in the list when counting the best players he has coached. How was your relationship with him?
I still talk to him to this day. I congratulate him right after games, and he texts me back, "Thank you." That's one of those guys that he really taught me, how to play in Europe, and he really pushed my game to the next level. Of course, so we have many, many history together. Aside from winning, just the relationship we built with our families and everything. So I'm extremely happy for him.
Yeah, and actually, when you look at Ergin Ataman's team, starting with you, Carlos, continued with Larkin and Micic, and now with Kendrick Nunn and Kostas Lucas, we see a coach who gets great performances from great guards. Do you think that the coach have an ability for coaching this type of guards?
Absolutely. I think, with Erding, he's very demanding. There's going to be a time during the season that you really will get frustrated because of how demanding he is. But at the end of the day, when you win, you understand, everything. And he understands the game. He understands his guards play. He pushes for guards to push themselves and play at the best of their abilities, and just the way he sees the game. He's just he's the GOAT, man. He right now winning with 3 different teams. He has the magic, and you got to applaud him and got to give him his respect. But I just think he understands how much he can push every single player. And I think he's done that with Costas and Kendrick as well. Being Kendrick's first time in Europe, I think he's done very well for himself. As for American players who go to Europe, it takes them a while to really understand the European game and how you play, how the physicality of it, and the role play that you give these players. A lot of times it's extremely different, aside from how technical the game is in difference from the NBA. In the NBA, you play more of a, one showman type game, one-on-one, and be a little bit more selfish. In Europe, it's not like that. And Ataman, specifically, he's one of those coaches that he won't allow his team to rattle. He won't allow his team to go away from what he has planned structure wise on how he wants them to play. So, and I give a lot of credit to Kendrick. He has adapted well his first year.
Yeah, and for unforgettable moment memory with him. I mean, Ergin Ataman, you could share with me.
Oh, his fist. You talking about? No, I mean, I love Coach, man. He embraced the team we had in Besiktas, and he embraced us as players and as people, and regardless of where we came from, and we connected well. Like I said, I've even gone on vacation with Urgent, so we have a special relationship.
Yeah. And the last question, music and basketball, Carlos. These were the two things you were obsessed with within your childhood and you became a big star in both. Not everyone can achieve their childhood dreams, and how lucky
Yeah.
do you see yourself in this regard?
Oh man. I love the fact that I did that because I was passionate and um, I was able to connect with the right people and surround myself with the right people to bring that to life. But I put a pause on that right now. I'm doing other things as I focus on national team things that we have and um, a pre-Olympic qualifier that we have this summer too. So I'm just doing other things. But I was glad that I did that. Just that I could say I did it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No, anytime, man.
Yeah.
Anytime. Thank you for writing me. Thank you for writing me.
Always, always.